Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Dave Ramsey Show, where dad is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. You jump in. Our phone number is 888-825-5225. If you haven't heard, we are celebrating our 25th anniversary of the Dave Ramsey Show all summer long. And the way we're doing that is periodically we will take a segment or two from the show and just stop and remember, walk down memory lane a little bit and tell some funny stories and reminisce. And some of you have been with us that long. Some of you have listened to us in Nashville all the way back to there. But and so we've had some guests on from back in the old days and so forth. And we thought it would be fun, particularly the whole team thought it would be fun, to have the one and only Lara Johnson join us for a couple segments. Lara is celebrating her 18th anniversary with our firm today, with our team today. And welcome, Lara.
Yes, hi. This is weird to be on this side of the glass.
You've never been
I've never been on the air, and that's probably strategic on your part. You probably didn't want to get me a microphone. Nobody wants to give me a microphone. James has his hand over the dump button at any moment.
He's ready to go.
He's ready to go.
It's a surreal thing.
It is. It's
to
weird.
sit for on as many hours as you've sat on the other side of the glass from me, to be sitting here in the studio with a microphone.
I've told people how to act in this room. This is what you're supposed. Now I'm totally clueless. I'm probably screwing up everything, but no.
You did tell a lot of people how to act in here
so
over the years.
you're supposed to do it.
Yeah, line them up. And, when we first started the show, the very first studio that we built, we've told this during these 25-year reminiscence, we just took 2 rooms in an office building that were drywall. Yep. They weren't any more soundproof than Fly the Moon, and they were almost basically closets. They were tiny little rooms, like 6 by 6 small. Or something like that.
I practically sat in Blake's lap.
Yeah, there was very little room.
Very little.
And we took one room, put a little round table in it that we got at Staples for back in the scratch and dent corner, one of those press board tables with for mic on it, drilled holes in it, stuck the microphone stands in that. And that was mine. And then you guys, we kind of put up a piece of plexiglass between the two, but it really wasn't soundproof. And you guys were shoulder to shoulder.
Yes, there were 3 of us in the room.
Barely could stand in there or sit in there. And Blake, of course, is running the board and producing. And to start with, it was just you and him.
Right.
And then later we added another engineer in there.
Right. Brian Kirsch was in there.
Brian Kirsch joined us. And but the first thing that happened was, of course, we hired you, and you had been in the youth group at the church as a teenager, and Sharon and I, as young adults, were working with the youth.
Right.
And there's 2 or 3 people on our staff here
that were in that youth group.
Yes. Back in the day, 30 years ago type of a thing, 25 years ago.
Right.
And it was more than 25 years ago. It was 30 years ago. And so... no, that wouldn't be true, because you're only 40.
I'm 40, yes. I turned 40 this year.
It would be 25 years ago for you to be a teenager.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, we're working with the youth group, and you graduate, and I think one of the other people said, hey, Laura's looking for a job, and so Bill Hampton, how'd you end up getting on?
Well, you actually taught my Sunday school class, a 2030s class at Christ Church.
Okay.
And then at the end of your lesson, you said, hey, I'm looking for a phone screener and an assistant to the broadcast department. And I thought, hey, I just graduated. I've got a media degree. Surely I can do that job. And next morning I was in your office, my resume, and interviewed with Bill, interviewed with you, and went through the interview process, which even back then was a process. And I remember over Ruby Tuesdays is where we had our final meeting, and you looked at me and you said, Laura, I think you're too nice to do this job. And I thought, well, he doesn't know me very well. Doesn't know me at all.
Well, I knew you could do the assistant's job working with Bill, but phone screening can be brutal, because you have to tell people no.
A lot.
They can't come on the air.
90% of your job.
And they get mad.
Yes.
And they call you names.
Right.
And you have to be tough. You got to just say, no matter how weird you get, matter of fact, that means you're probably more likely to not get on the air because you got too crazy. And so the phone screener gets kind of abused and really ends up dishing some abuse back out.
A little bit. You have enough and just, snap back.
Shut up. Yeah,
or you just hang up.
I knew that. I knew what we were facing because phone screening it's one of the toughest jobs in this building, really, to decide who gets to go on the air and to tell someone no kindly, and then if they don't accept that not so kindly or whatever, and stand in there. And so, so I didn't, all I knew, you was a sweet little girl at the church, and I'm thinking, little church lady's going to get eat alive over here, right? These crazy people calling on the air are going to eat this one for lunch.
Right. I proved you wrong pretty quickly, I think.
Yeah, you weren't as nice as I thought you were.
It's a little disappointing, wasn't it? No.
So you were like 22 years old.
I was 22 and clueless. I had a broadcast degree, so I knew about, the wires and all that stuff. But I knew nothing about finances. I knew absolutely nothing about, I thought a 401k was a really long race. I had no idea. An IRA, what was that? An annuity, no clue. So, I'm trying to understand people's questions and put them on the air. So I had to learn all of that really quick.
And be able to type in a description of what they're calling about.
Let's just talk about my spelling over the years. It's been horrible. I'm the worst speller ever. Poor Dave has had to interpret.
We've never had a phone screener that was like a world-class speller, ever.
Oh, we're calling Kelly out.
Including now. Yeah, we're calling Kelly out. It's not one of the prerequisites to be a phone screener. You have to be tough. You have to be insightful. You have to have discernment.
Spelling,
you have to decide who gets on the air, but spelling, not so much.
And we can let that pass.
Yeah, and you're doing it real fast, too.
Right, you are.
In your all's defense, it's done real fast.
You're screening and talking to people constantly.
And you have about a 4 or 5 word description is all you can put down for me to figure this out. But we've had some fun spellings come up over the years. Yeah,
I've misspelled lots of
We all start laughing so hard we can't talk because something's spelled ridiculously. Or you turned a perfectly clean call into something pornographic or something.
Yes,
it's hilarious.
It can happen. It can happen.
Yeah, that could happen. So 18 years. What has changed?
Oh my goodness.
Everything.
Everything. I mean, number one, just the studios we've been in. We've been in 3 different studios since I've been here, and it's been we've done it all with cash. We've all gotten a little bit bigger, and now we're in this nice studio, and we're about to move. We had the groundbreaking this morning for the building, and we're about to have another studio. So those have all changed. The video channel, and I've got a team of guys that are across the street putting all of this on YouTube. That's been fun. I mean, even the radio industry's changed over 18 years, and how we are perceived, how we are taken. I mean, I remember back in the day going to conventions, in 2001, and people had no clue who we were. Didn't really care who we were. And now we've kind of made a name for ourselves after 25 years.
Yeah, now there are a couple of Hall of Fames and other things.
Exactly.
Few of them are noticing that we're around now. It's interesting. 587 stations. 25 years on the air. Lara Johnson is with us, the original phone screener, then becoming the first associate producer. Now produces all of the video channel, which is the YouTube stream and other things that we do around here. Has a whole team doing that, and that was a promotion when we launched that a few years ago. More on this walk down memory lane in the next segment.
Saying congratulations to Dave Ramsey for 25 years of celebrating freedom on the air.
We're all big Ellie Holcomb fans around here. And we like her music too. There you go. Just like that. Yeah, she's quite a lady. And she and Rachel have been friends for years, and just a sharp young gal. Lara Johnson joining us this half hour, the original, very first phone screener. The interesting thing is I've only ever had 2. And, that's something that we hadn't talked about, that we used to say, and I don't know if we've ever said this over the air, but we've said it behind the scenes. The radio business, talk radio, is so full of egos, behind the scenes and on the air both, that the number of times that a producer and phone screener and host have stayed together more than just a couple of years is very unusual.
Right.
And we are convinced that one of the things that created the success of this show was you, me, and Blake were, in this, you two on that side for 14 years.
All of us three together, yes.
Yeah, every day for 3
hours a day, yes.
I mean, we could literally look at each other through this, and we knew what each other were thinking.
Exactly.
I mean, body language, we could just go kind of a little bit,
I mean, back in the day when, 2000 or whatever, after every show, we would sit down and debrief. And we did that for a couple years, and we didn't have to do it anymore because we all knew.
Yeah, we knew exactly what was right, what was wrong with the show, what was screwed up, what was going to...
That call worked. This one didn't. This is how you should have handled it. That kind of thing.
Exactly. And you could have said this and it had been funny, or you could have gone there. Why didn't you ask them about this? You missed that. You guys coaching me, you're hearing things there, and, and it helps you pick out which callers get on the air, which makes good radio, compelling talk radio. Right. But I'm convinced that all of us having big enough egos to fight, but small enough egos to change and grow and work together, and stayed together 14 years is one of the reasons we succeeded past other shows. Because I think the other shows, people don't put enough value on the stability of the team.
It's true. And it was never really about us. I mean, you talk about ego, we didn't really it was about our listeners and helping them and helping people. That was just the bigger mission. So really, our egos weren't even an issue for us.
Yeah. Very cool. Good. Yeah, it's exactly right. I mean, the whole thing was to get better because we wanted to, be more efficient at helping people get better ratings and, create something. You have to have something here that's entertaining and fun, and you have to have something that's poignant at times, and you have to go with those flows, and you have to look for those moments.
Right. Blake trained me, and how he trained me, he said, the calls are the records like the DJ plays. So I'm pretty much the DJ, putting the records, queuing them up.
If you're playing bad music, nobody's going to listen to the station. Playing bad records, you can't play B-side everything.
Exactly.
That's not the kind of, nobody listens to B-side everything.
Right. So you had
to
educate people, entertain people, and keep them listening and coming back. So.
Exactly. Yeah, choosing those calls. And that sounds kind of manipulative when we say it. The callers are the records we play. But we have to be selective and careful. Because if we put like 6 401k questions in a row, nobody's going to listen to that.
Listen.
And, one occasionally as an educational thing, or one that's got a funny twist or a weird twist to it that has an entertainment value to it that we mix, and you get education and that out of the call.
Right.
That's the calls we're looking for. And we put the occasional crazy one on there, entertaining.
Right.
We put if somebody was mad.
Mad, disagreed with you, and y'all could get, have an argument, that would be great, or disagreement. That
almost never happens anymore. Nobody's got the guts anymore. But we used to have those whole life agents call back in the day. They get so mad. Best. Had a car dealer call or two about me running car leases down, and we had some good debates on the air about that. But pretty much people figure out that's a losing proposition, and that's kind of gone. That part's gone away. But that's okay. It doesn't have to be combative.
Probably my favorite call. You lost it. I think we've played it before. Is the guy that wanted to buy the payphone? Oh.
We did play it the other day, yeah.
Yeah, you laughed. I've never seen you laugh that hard, ever. And you laughed all the way through the break, to the break, through the break, and we all couldn't.
We couldn't get composed, yeah, because it was just ridiculous,
It was.
It was absolutely crazy. This fun stuff, but I think that stability thing, people ask in business all the time, what do you have to do to succeed? What do you have to do to succeed? And I don't know that we sat down. I know we didn't sit down and say, we all have to stick together for a decade, and then it'll gel at a level nobody else gels because everybody else turns over all the time. We didn't say that. It just happened. It just happened. Because we all had a bigger mission than our own little ego, and we have big enough egos to push through, but we had our own, a mission that was bigger, and that was helping people, and it caused us to do that. But, looking back on it now, and brand stability, I mean, when we can stay on the same radio station in the same time slot for a long period of time, it goes deep into that market. Right. We end up with this brand penetration.
And how much fun is it working with Blake Thompson? I mean, I have had so much fun working with him anyway, so working with him over the years has been great.
He is really quick-witted, for those of you that don't know. Very funny.
Yes.
And creative as crud. Mm-hmm. He really is.
Really is.
And so, we struck gold with both of you. and didn't even know what we were hiring for. It's
Right.
just that tells us God orchestrated it when we look back on it. And so very fun stuff. Yeah. It did make a big difference. It really did.
Yes.
And so, yeah, you would go to those radio conventions in the early days is a little bit like deer in the headlights.
Yes, very much so, because I really wasn't into the business side of things, and a lot of that was going on at this convention. So I was a little bit over my head in the early days, and we weren't really known, so it wasn't like people were dying to talk to us.
Yeah, we're pushing our way into stuff,
Right.
Awkwardly into conversations
Right.
we didn't belong in, just to be noticed. Yeah.
Yes, I remember.
We were those people.
Yes, Blake getting the bellman to give him a list of all the people that were there for the convention, and then we would slide our own stuff under their doors, and you're really supposed to pay for that stuff.
Yeah, I heard that later.
Yeah, that was.
They got really angry.
They kind of got mad, but they kind of got over it too.
Yeah, they did. Well, we paid them a lot of money
Yes,
since then.
we have. We've redeemed ourselves since
we
then.
never thought about that as stealing, but I guess it actually was.
Yes.
So we've gone back and paid them a lot in those different conventions over the years. As a matter of fact, a couple of those things over the years went broke, and we actually were the underwriting that brought them back,
Right.
some of those organizations, when things got really bad in 07, 08.
Oh, yeah.
We came alongside several of the movers and shakers in the industry and said, okay, we're gonna just kind of take this over and write checks,
Right.
and then you can have it back once you get back up on your feet, because we felt like the radio industry needed some of those things.
Right. And it's fun to see the conventions now because we own everything. Our names on all the posters and all the marketing that we do is great.
Yeah, it's a completely different world at that point.
That's a big thing that's changed.
For sure. Now, the thing that has changed is email.
Oh, yeah.
And
that's right. When I
social
started,
media.
We didn't really have that. Social
And,
media, no, that was non-existent.
We had the fax machine.
Yes, I think when I came, we had just gotten rid of the fax machine.
Oh, really?
I think
Okay.
99 was when I came in. So fax was kind of going away. Email was just kind of new, and so we were trying that.
Couldn't spell it. Yeah.
No.
And,
Yeah, cell phones.
Cell phones were awful.
They were really bad back then.
Because you had analog. Now everything's digital, but you had
Right.
analog, and the call would drop or sounded
Yeah,
like somebody was in a 55-gallon drum.
Right, or they're driving down the interstate with their head stuck out the window while trying to talk to you. And you're like, "Can you
Apparently, their
please?"
windows are down, the top is down on the car. I don't know
Help
what.
me help you, people.
It sounds like they're in a wind tunnel. We're like, pull
Yeah.
over to the side of the road,
Yeah.
or we're going to just hang up. We're not going to try to talk to you. And we got to where, for a while, if it was a cell phone, we just hang up.
Right, we didn't take it. We couldn't.
Because it was just an unreliable call.
Right.
As soon as we got them on the air, it sounded like garbage.
But-
a few of them are that way now. You know what people are doing now with the cell phones?
What?
They don't talk into them.
Oh, yes, I've heard you several times on the air say something like that.
Yeah, they just kind of hold it out here and wave it around and look at it. It's a smartphone. They have a
Yeah.
thing in my hand, and it sounds like their voice is coming and going. All it is they just don't talk directly into the phone.
I know.
So the little microphone doesn't pick up.
It's a struggle. It's a struggle.
Yeah.
Kelly, the struggle's real for you
Kelly
out there.
Kelly has to train them how to be a caller.
That's right.
That's what happens. Laura, I'm proud of you. Proud to have
Thank
worked
you.
with
It's
you
been
for
wonderful.
18
It's
years.
been awesome.
Lara Johnson, the original phone screener and associate producer of the Dave Ramsey Show, now produces all of the video channel and a bunch of other video that happens around here. All the YouTube stuff. Check it all out. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show.